Hmm. Hello everyone, I'm Carius, and today we're going to be looking at some weird blasters. Some real abominations. So, if you remember the Worker Hurricane from a while back, it's this cool little pistol that uses this 6-shot cylinder magazine. It only works with full-length darts, unfortunately. I would really like a version of this that uses half darts, but anyway, that's not the point of the video. So I like the Hurricane. Then on Amazon, I saw this thing. Future. So this, obviously, is a Hurricane knockoff. And when I saw it, I got excited because I thought maybe these magazines would be compatible, because it's the exact same technology, but they're not. This is just a little bit shorter and is made for darts that are a little bit shorter, just because. And you can see the trigger is exactly the same. It's got the same little mag retention nubs down here. It's just they went through the trouble of making this not compatible with the Hurricane, which is annoying. And of course the base blaster's terrible. It's incredibly wimpy. And it has this N-Strike lug silencer that I don't know if it's actually N-Strike compatible. It looks like it might be, but a lot of these things just are slightly different for no reason, like the magazine. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. I have a bunch of blasters like this, just weird knockoffs that look like somebody took Nerf blasters and shrunk them down or mashed them together and created some really weird stuff that I've found over the years. And for all of these weird blasters, I will be showing you the original blasters that they ripped off, so you can have a good comparison in case you're not familiar with a specific blaster. So here we have a Kronos, one of my favorite rival pistols. I like it a lot, but wouldn't it be cool if it was more like the Battle Scout? Wait, no, nobody says that? You mean you don't want this weird proprietary clip thing that barely works? One of the most memed on blasters for just being kind of terrible? Well, take a look at this thing. So here we have what is kind of a shrunken Kronos. You can see it's a little bit smaller, but all the details are the same, with a Battle Scout magazine put through it and painted Captain America colors for some reason. Yeah. And before you go thinking, oh, it looks like a Kronos, so maybe it's like a Kronos on the inside, so it's got some power. No. This thing is weaker than the Battle Scout and has these clips that are just different enough to not actually be compatible in the Battle Scout. You can see the notches are in a different place, so just more bizarre nonsense. So what about the Cyclone Shock? Have you ever hoped that they would replace the front of this with a surge fire turret instead, so it shoots regular darts? No? Me neither, but this thing exists. Hero! You can see it is very clearly a Cyclone Shock, except for the front here, which appears to be a surge fire turret with a few more darts. Like, it's got the same styling, but it's a different size, so it's not actually like compatible, but it's obviously copying the idea. I modded this one and it almost works alright, but yeah, it's pretty silly. At least the drum is actually detachable. Or it should be. There we go. It's not easily detachable, but it is. This is actually kind of a neat blaster, in that it is comfortable because it's the same handle as the Cyclone Shock, and it has a decent amount of capacity. I forget what the performance is like. I'll put this over the Chrono later. It's just another, like, let's mash up 2 other blasters. So next in our pile of blasters that look like they were made by AI, do you care to guess what they mashed a Rampage with? If you answered the Busby Sidewinder, congratulations! We have this weird thing. It's like kind of a Rampage, but it's got this big old drum on the side of it. This one feels like more work was put into it. It's not a direct copy, but it's still just strange. And So many of the knockoff blasters, you'll notice they'll say shooting or shots or happy fire, fun time, whatever, just like mashed up English. I think I have several blasters that just say shooting down the side of them. And this thing is disappointingly weak, but it's kind of cool looking. It's just really weird, and it's got a interesting stock on it. It's just kind of cheaply made and not very moddable, but it's a unique blaster for sure. These arms come off entirely. I don't know if they actually separate from... Oh, they do. So this all comes apart. So you could theoretically reload the drums. And you can see the drum itself has some similarities to like a Sidewinder, but also kind of looks like, well, maybe not. Let me see. Nah, I just took a look at a Super Drum, and it's not quite the same, but it is definitely closer to the Sidewinder. It even has the same kind of buttons that come off the side. So it's definitely inspired by the Sidewinder, which is a weird blaster to take inspiration from. Come on, there we go. So yeah, another very strange blaster, but I saw it on Amazon and had to check it out because, I mean, look at this thing. You show up to an Earth War with something like this and everyone's going to stare at you like, did you make some kind of cool integration? Or like, what is this AI generated nonsense you're holding? Oh, and it's got a slam fire switch back here. It says auto and semi, but what it does is change it to slam fire mode. So it basically determines whether the trigger is functional or not, and this locks the trigger, or locks the internal trigger so that it always slam fires. So, kind of a neat blaster. I wish it had some more power, because it would be pretty usable. It might be a good HVZ blaster. It does have all the N-Strike compatible stuff. Same rail, same stock attachment point, same barrel lug, or at least it looks like it. You never know with these things. Well, the weird Hurricane knockoff barrel fits on it, so that tells you it's probably an N-Strike lug on both of them. Alrighty, on to the next one. So once upon a time, two big shocks fell in love and had a bunch of babies. So these I found at a random thrift store. I have no idea where they're from, but they're a long-range efforts space gun, and it's clearly a shrunk cyclone shock with some extra iron sights added on and the ammo holder area filled in, because instead of using the handle for the plunger, these are slide prime. And you can see how short that that draw length is. These are not very powerful, and yet they still have air restrictors. But these are just weird little slide prime jolt type deals, but they're not jolts. They got something else going on. They're incredibly wimpy, but I thought they were hilarious. They took the time to completely rework how the internals work to like basically make a new blaster, but then copy the same shell, but shrunk and slightly different. They were in a bag together. There's all four of them, and so I've got four tiny cyclone shocks that say space gun on them. Also made in China, surprising nobody. Then again, these are probably made in China too, like everything. Oh yeah, there it is. It's extremely tiny. You can almost barely read it. It says made in China. Anyway, so there's those. And for our last abomination, we will see what happens when you mash together a Stampede and a Long Strike. Yeah, this is going to be a big one. And it's basically, we'll take the back end of the Long Strike and stick it on a Stampede. Are you imagining what that looks like? Well, here it is. Ta-da! So this generic AI-generated rifle is clearly a Long Strike, where the stock here, where the magazine holders would be, has been turned into a battery holder, I believe. Yeah. So you open up the back to put the batteries in here. And this, I think, yeah, it's a Stampede on the inside. Basically, it's an AEG, but it's a total weird knockoff amalgamation. And then this big old scope came with it. Looks familiar, but I don't know what the scope's knocking off. But yeah, it's got that same breech as the Stampede. I haven't actually fired it because I haven't put batteries in it, but on the inside it is just an AEG. See all the Long Strike details They're like kind of similar, but also skewed and stretched in various ways. Like they altered this whole setup and really stretched this back so that the handle and this stock part aren't connected anymore, but it's still clearly Longstrike inspired. And it's even got some extra bits that are like it's got this thing, this weird silver thing, but it's been expanded for some reason. But then at the front, as well as on the inside, it's a Stampede. And you can see where it's kind of got the Stampede detailing going on, but slightly different. So, just a weird blaster. Well, I'm going to see if I can get some batteries in some of these and find darts that work in them and put them over the chronograph just to show them off, but don't expect anything special coming out of these blasters. Oh wow, this thing has a battery pack. Nickel cadmium AA pack, and I don't think it came with a charger? I mean, it must have come with a charger. I'll have to find that, see if I can get this thing working. More surprises. Alright, let's try to get some chronograph numbers off of these. First we have the tiny space guns. I'm going to use Nerf Elite darts to give it the best chance of shooting. These didn't come with any darts, but it's looking like they used really small ones. 47. It's not terrible for something this tiny. 39. You know, I bet I can shove half darts down the barrel and it will actually shoot them. Yeah. Got a worker heavy dart. 38. 35. More than I expected, honestly. Now for the bizarre Kronos Battle Scout Captain America blaster. 55. 54. Oh, that's weird. You can accidentally kind of slam fire it. 24. 52. So we're getting like pre-elite ranges. Yeah, very wimpy. Not much better than the tiny space guns. I did find one 3/4 dart, and I don't feel like cutting down more darts, so I'm just going to shoot the one out of this weird thing and see if I even get a reading. Because the motors are so wimpy, you can hear them just barely going. It's even worse than a stock Hurricane, which is saying a lot. You saw it plopped out and just landed. It didn't even make it past the second gate of the chronograph. And it won't shoot half darts. I tried. It won't even feed half darts. So it's just short enough that it won't work with full-length darts, but just long enough that it won't work with half darts. Now this one has a little bit more potential. I put a slightly stronger spring in it, and I drilled out the back of the drum so that it can rear load and fire half darts, but it's not going to be super impressive. Oh, the drum is unseated somehow. There we go. Okay, the drum had come out of position. 93? This is after modding it. There goes the drum again. That's not rotating. Okay, if I force it to rotate. 101? Okay, it rotated that time. 91. 91 again. 87. 80 with a half dart. 82. 79. So like elite-ish performance, and a drum that sometimes gets knocked out of position randomly, like it'll pop forward and get stuck like that. So now it's not sealing at all or rotating. So like almost a cool blaster, but not very reliable. Now for this thing. I have not attempted to mod this one, but I don't think it has much potential. 68. Oh. Yeah, and sometimes it does that. I'm not in slamfire mode, but it slamfired anyway. $60, 54, 54, and there's another like slamfire. Like the trigger, even though I have it in on slamfire mode, the trigger isn't holding on right. Now if I put it in slamfire, we're getting 50s, high of a low 60 sometimes. 62. Yeah, but yeah, the fact that it wants to slam fire sometimes, even when the slam fire switch is not engaged is not great. And of course, it's only getting like end strike performance. But at least it looks kind of cool. And it is rotating reliably. It's just not staying caught reliably. And it's slam firing when you don't want it to. And it just feels really cheap too. Like, I feel like if you were too rough with this thing, you would break it really easily. It looks like it's nice plastic, but it doesn't feel like it's nice plastic. And finally, we have this thing, which seems like it should be compatible with Nerf magazines, and they kind of fit, but they're really tight. And I don't have a charger for it, but it's the same plug as a Prometheus charger, so I tried that. And if this works, you'll be seeing it for the first time at the same time I am. Not promising so far. Oh, okay, the jam door wasn't closed. Maybe there's a lock there. Oh, hey! Okay. I mean, yeah, it's a Stampede. Probably a cheaper Stampede on the inside. I don't know how much modding you could do. It's hitting high 60s. But it is working. I'm super surprised that even shot, if I'm being honest. So the one modded blaster managed to hit 100, but everything else is like end strike performance. So, yeah. And that's what you can expect out of a lot of these weird knockoff blasters. Like, they're not going to shoot very hard. They've got no reason to try to make them shoot hard. Hey, ChatGPT, make me some blasters. Oh my god. Well, thanks for watching. I was looking through my collection and just figured some of these were worth showing off just because they're so weird and they're so clearly recognizable as Frankenstein pieces of other blasters. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, this has been Carius reminding you to have fun. They're so sad. Uh-oh. He want the cheese. They want the cheese too. Yeah? You want cheese? You can have a little bit. Yeah? Yeah? You want cheese? Here you go, sweeties. The cheese tax. The cheese tax.